Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Starting the Day the Right Way 5-minute devotion for February 24th, 2021. All right, hope everyone's having a good day. All right, we're going to jump right into it. So last night, me and my son are reading through Proverbs 23, and we get through the first 3 verses, and the word gluttony popped up. And so he's like, Daddy, what's that mean? So I said it usually refers to when people just keep on eating and eating and eating and eating, even when they don't need to. And so he was like, well, do I do that? And we've had to speak to him a couple of times, like, if he's watching TV or something and he just feels bored, he'll say, I need a snack. And I said, well, me and mommy, help you not to be that way and to, develop good habits. So this way, when you become a young man and a man, you don't develop this type of bad habit. So he's like, oh, okay. But then that got me thinking. After I put him down, I said, there are other ways. Usually it refers to drinking. So I looked it up this morning, and the secondary definition of gluttony is greedy or excessive indulgence. And it got me thinking that we are in such a society that is very addictive in many different ways, right? Of course, gluttony refers to food, but gluttony can really refer to anything, right? It can refer to the amount of time that you spend on social media. I have an iPhone, and I got an app that pops up every Sunday that says how long I spent on my phone throughout the week. And some weeks they are not such good numbers. I'm like, oh boy, I need to adjust this, right? Other times, gluttony could be whatever, game playing, watching TV. It could be just listening to an endless number of preachers, and you totally consuming the word from different people and never putting it into action. Okay. Eventually, we need to do what God tells us to do, right? He tells us to go out into all the world and preach the good news. So eventually, we have to get off our butts, get off the couch, and go do what God has called us to do. Okay. But we can certainly be gluttonous in the messages that we listen to. I have about 4 or 5 favorite people that I listen to. And if there are weeks where I just don't get to their message, I probably have about 20 messages queued up right now that I just have not been able to get to. Okay. But I can easily turn it into a gluttonous situation if I allow it to. All right. And then the other thing I was speaking to my son about is that God, excuse me, God is a God of balance. Okay. So anytime something exists that takes away that balance, right? Then we need to take a look at that. And it's probably God pointing out to us that we need to bring things back into balance. And the example that I used for him, excuse me, was that, listen, if Daddy were to work, 15, 20 hours a day and just say good morning to you in the morning and say good night to you at good night, we wouldn't have much of a relationship, right? We wouldn't have, time together building Legos. We wouldn't have time riding bikes. We wouldn't have time doing all the stuff that we do, going to the beach. So he's like, yeah, I wouldn't even know you. I said, yeah. So if I allow my work life to affect my family life, that's going to bring me out of balance, right? And then I told him, God has priorities in our life. He wants to be number one in our lives. And then mommy is number 2 to me. And then you're number 3. So he got a little upset about that. He's like, well, why am I number 3? Why am I below mommy? And I said, well, I knew mommy first, right? And I love mommy first. We didn't have you when we first got married. And I say, God has ordered things in priority. So that's the priority of things. So he understood that. I said, it doesn't mean I don't love you less. It's just that I love you with all that I am. And from here to the moon. He's like, oh, all right. And that made him feel better. So gotta be a little careful about what I say right before bedtime, I guess. But anyway, getting back to gluttony, it's anything in our life that we do excessively. So just take stock of your life today. Just see if you got balance, right? And if you don't get balance, it's easy enough just to get back in there, right? Just take a look at what it is and then set yourself some goals, right? For our little guy, we allow him, 2 hours a day, for example, tech time. During school days, that's real easy, no big deal. During days off, that's hard for him, right? Because he's got to find other things to do. He's got to read some books. He's got to play with the toys that we brought him. Got to, keep himself away from that technology. So, but that goes for all of us, right? So take a look at it. Hope this was a blessing. Have a great day. We'll be back. Bye.